The National Computer Emergency Response Team, which operates under the Department of Information and Communications Technology, was informed about the ransomware when they, as early as 9 or 8 in the morning of September 22. And PhilHealth is cooperating with us in trying to get the in trying to resolve this particular issue. So right now, the PhilHealth online systems are inaccessible, but that is not because it was attacked, but rather because we wanted to contain the spread of the ransomware. So we advised that the other critical systems we um, isolated from the network for the time being until we complete our assessment of their computer systems.
Okay. So Jeffrey, PhilHealth said that there were no personal data compromised or stolen. Is that accurate? And how many data or accounts are we actually talking about here that were put at risk?
Okay, so let me clarify that. There might be overlapping, what do you call that? Time of check versus time of the information transmitted. At the time that we submitted our initial report as of September 22, we did tell PhilHealth that there was no indications of any, there were yet no indications of any data being leaked or any private information that was captured by the ransomware. Unfortunately, as that information has changed, no? As of yesterday, the ransomware group Medusa already posted samples of some credentials and including some information from PhilHealth in their dark web website. Uh, we noticed some credentials of some administrators, perhaps of the PhilHealth IT systems. We also saw some pictures of memorandum issued by the leadership of PhilHealth. So it's a general, I would say it's a general cacophony of information. No? Uh, it was. I think what the ransomware was able to get was random bits of data from what information they can get from the computers that they were able to infect.
But so Jeffrey, is that going to be a concern since they have already those data?
I'm sorry.
Is that going to be a concern, especially for PhilHealth, since of course Medusa or ransomware already have posted this information?
Yes. Well, we treat this thing seriously, and I would share the same sentiment that this is, of course, a concern. If you look at the ransomware group's modus operandi, they're actually asking for money to. They're asking two bits of money. So, for example, they're asking 300,000 US dollars to be able to get the decryption key so that we can access the data. Plus, so that they will delete the data and that they will not publish the information in the World Wide Web. But they also have different types of of prices. For example, they're asking for 10,000 US dollars to extend the deadline for one day. They're asking a certain, I think, 100,000 US dollars so that they will delete the data without us giving the key or without us being given the key. Now, this is the usual criminal modus operandi of ransomware groups. Let me also add, Riza, that Medusa is actually a reignited type of ransomware, and we are not the only one hit. There are various countries, including some agencies of the United Nations, that was hit since early this year by the Medusa ransomware.
So Jeffrey, just to clarify, PhilHealth did not pay any of the ransom money that they were asking for.
Yes, as far as I know, we did not. PhilHealth did not pay the criminal operators, and I don't think it is also a matter of state policy to pay ransom for these demands. We don't want to encourage the economics of criminal activities. So I don't think it is advisable also to pay the ransom demands of the cyber criminals.
So, Jeffrey, how difficult is it to track ransomware attacks like these? And would it be, really possible to trace the group behind?
It is quite difficult. We share, like I mentioned, no, this is not the Medusa locker, which has been in existence since the 2020s. 2020 enjoyed a recent revival. The reason for that is because these criminal groups are actually organized. In the case of the Medusa lockware and the Medusa ransomware group, they're selling this. Certain variants of the Medusa lockware are being sold to different criminal syndicates or cyber criminal syndicates, and these variants are evolving every time they get detected by threat detection mechanisms. They evolve it, no. So they really have a very enterprising and very large organized group trying to improve their modus operandi every time that they hit any system. In fact, just before this, it's not a response to the Medusa ransomware event in PhilHealth, but a few months back, we already indicated our conformance to join the ransomware initiative or the counter ransomware initiative, along with our allies, the United States, and some other countries like Australia, Japan, etc. It's that complex, I would say, that it would require also, because they're so organized, it also requires a international approach to ransomware, to counter ransomware. Another example is in Europe. The European police, operating like the Interpol, also has a counter ransomware initiative where all European countries share information just so they can capture these criminal syndicates. These criminal syndicates, they operate internationally, and they're usually disparate. Even them, they only know themselves by their members by aliases. Seldom do these cyber criminal syndicates operate in by real names or by real personas.
It could be a collaborative effort to really counter them. Sir, based on your investigation since the attack happened, do you have any leads on why they targeted PhilHealth? And are there government agencies that are or that could be at risk for these kind of cyber attacks?
Yes. So this is a I hate to admit it, Rizan, but this is actually a cat and mouse game. Like I said, they're evolving. Unfortunately, we're also ill-equipped because we don't have enough budget to counter them. Ano? They're a very enterprising criminal syndicate. So it's a cat and mouse game, but we're trying our best. In the case of PhilHealth, if I will focus only on PhilHealth, no, I don't think they were targeted per se. So what happened, according to our initial investigations, but our investigations are evolving. It's just that there are some systems that are compromised. Earlier this year, I think their extended defense mechanisms licenses have expired. So parang ano yun, to simplify, it's like an antivirus, no? It's like a more advanced form of antivirus. It expired. And then they also have certain systems that have modules that are vulnerable to the Medusa lockware or the Medusa ransomware type of malware. So it's a matter of a good opportunity for the criminal syndicates
Right.
finding a vulnerability.
Right.